Hey guys, what's up? Jin here with the Otakuology podcast, where we like to cover a lot of nerdy things. With me, as always, is my good buddy, Otaku Mike.
How's it going?
And our interviewee, is that what it is? Is it interviewee or interviewer? No, because I would be the GeminiManga.
Hello.
Sometimes it's scary starting out as too, you don't know how to say stuff. But, yeah, so Gemini is who we're going to actually be interviewing today for all of you. Mike, fill me in here.
Oh, sorry. I thought you lost connection there for a minute. And I was like, oh no, what's going on?
I'm losing
Gemini
steam real fast.
GeminiManga is somebody who I have enjoyed for quite some time, ever since finding his channel. And I reached out to him. I was like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? He was like, yeah, let's come on the podcast. But yeah, he's a fellow manga tuber. Introduce yourself, please.
All right. I'm GeminiManga. Like Mike said, you can find me on YouTube. I am a manga tuber. I currently have over 900 volumes of manga.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of
manga. Yeah, insane amount of manga. Trying to catch up on my reading, but also catch up on everything that is currently coming out too. So that's currently who I am. I always want to say I'm 27, but I'm 26. And
hey,
I'm just,
you could be 27 today.
I'm 27. I'm 27 and a half.
You just lied to him. I'm 27 right now.
Right.
Yeah. I guess I'll get us started.
I have something first.
Okay, go ahead.
So I just wanted to bring up, I really like how your room's set up, because I feel like how you collect some stuff is how I collect stuff, because you have like statues and Funko Pops and all this other different stuff in your room, and I was like, a kindred spirit, because like usually people will be like, oh, I just do manga and Funko Pops, or like manga and Nindroids or something. And you don't really see too many people that will just be like, hey, I like that. I'm going to put it in my room.
Yeah, I have a shiny Dratini. And I feel like people don't have that. I have a Polaroid camera and stuff. I used to work at a school. So I have like some stuffed animals kids gave me for Christmas, and even some Gundams and Voltron, Pokemon comics, all of it. And I have it all together. I don't care about that at all.
Right. And you, there was one of them I saw, you just had the shiny Dratini, and then you had like a Gundam model beside it or something. And I was like, oh no, epic battles fighting in my head. Dratini versus a Gundam. And I was like, wait, hold on, we got to pull ourselves out of that.
Are you big into the Gunpla?
I'm not super big. I have Gundam Origins. I read the first volume, and then I ended up getting all of them, and I haven't read them yet. But the Gundams that I have, it was literally on a whim. I was like, hey, I want to build something. I have no idea what this is. It probably was a huge mistake because it took so much of my time to those. And you have to be so delicate in everything. And I was like, oh yeah, like I can do this. I got it. And I spent days because I would like press too hard and things would fall apart. And it was truly a mess. But I mean, I want to be big into Gundam and the Gunpla, but it is a lot.
This is true.
I love Gunpla.
Well, there's so many like spinoffs. You got Origins, Iron Blood, and it's so much. So I get so overwhelmed looking at all of it.
I'm known for I'm known for getting a bunch of other manga tubers into Gunpla because I send them kits. I'm like, your first taste of the drug is free. You know, just a little taste.
Watch. We'll get off the podcast, and Jim and I will get a knock at his door, and it'll be a package delivery. It's a Gundam. What the heck? How did you go so fast?
But getting into the questions, I wanted to get in. Let me pull up my questions actually, because they just went away. What made you want to start a MangaTube channel?
So I have two friends,
Mm-hmm.
and they have been kind of telling me to start it for the
Mm-hmm.
long. Like, you have all of this stuff and you read all of this, like, just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was holding off for so long, and then I was actually scrolling on TikTok, as we all do.
Mm-hmm.
And this one chick who I watch on TikTok, she was like, post your content. She was like, there's an audience for everybody. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be X, Y, and Z. You don't have to have so much. Like, just post your content. So
Yeah.
I just did my first video.
Yeah.
Right. Which
Did
So,
you had a because I was reading your description for your channel too, and I like how you have on there of let's build a community like together with you or whatever,
mhm.
and it was really kind of comforting seeing you say that because there was somebody that I potted with before that was in the manga community a couple of years ago, and it was all about let's build my community, and I was like, can I not just talk about stuff? Does it have to be people that you like?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it was one of those things that I'm like, oh gosh, it's really weird when people want to say community sometimes and say if it's overall the whole thing or if they're trying to pinpoint and say like it's their specific community, and I hate when people are like I have to get behind that, and I'm like, no, I don't.
No, yeah, I get that for sure. And thank you. And I like, I just don't feel like this is just like, yeah, this is my manga and I'm
mm-hmm.
the one making the content, but like, I'm doing it for other people to watch, and
Yeah.
other people are like, hey, like, check this out. There's one guy who I probably bring up a lot of times in my on my channel. His name is Beyblade Guy. Never met him, don't know anything.
Yeah.
All I know is that he makes Beyblade content, and some he found my channel because I was talking about one manga, and he was like on me like, you need to read this, like, what are you doing, read more. And I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but okay. Like,
Yeah.
I guess you can tell me what to do.
I
And I read it and I was like, okay, cool,
uh
like, I really do like this. But I appreciate the feedback from other people saying like,
yeah.
hey, like, you have this, you need to read this, you know, look at this, or I found that you should do this. I appreciate the criticism and the help and whatever the case may be. So
Yeah,
it's
because
definitely for everyone.
getting into MangaTube can be very, very intimidating sometimes. You know, I remember when I got into it. Gosh, I think it's gonna be 4 years now. I think, and I didn't even know MangaTube existed. I remember a good friend of mine now who I met through MangaTube. His name is Justin. Um,
I thought you were going to say me. I was like,
no,
Mike, we're on the podcast together right now.
It's Justin. If you look up Justy Caves, that you'll look him up, you can find him. But he was like, "Oh man, cool! Another manga tuber. That's so cool." And my response was, "What the fuck's a manga tuber?"
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know what this fucking thing is." It's like, what is this? And then I got it. I was like, "Oh my god, there's more of people like me." Or
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, like you said, Gemini, like I really hate when people do try and do that to you where they're like, you have to do this, you have to do that. And it's the same response, like, I don't have to do nothing.
Right.
But in the same vein of thought, I always hate where people also try and say, oh, well, you're not like, because it is really toxic where people are kind of like, well, if you haven't read this or you don't get into this, like when we talked before the show, so me and Mike right now, audience listening, uh, are kind of going through and watching the Cowboy Bebop stuff, and Jim and I told us that um, he hasn't exactly gotten into it yet, but he will.
Yes, I will. You gotta convince me for sure.
But I mean, there's been comments that I've heard people say before. You know, other people in other audiences be like, "Oh, well, you haven't uh, watched Cowboy Bebop? Like that's a classic," and then like try and throw you under the bus because it's like,
Yeah,
oh well, um,
yeah. I've definitely had that before. Which I mean, I appreciate because you guys didn't even like it wasn't even a thought that you would say something like that.
No.
Um, but I've had that before where it's like, oh, you haven't read Cowboy Bebop or you haven't watched Yu Yu Hakusho. I just watched Yu Yu Hakusho this year, so that lets you know where I
Yeah.
am on like my fallback. But there's so many classics that people are like, oh, what do you mean you haven't seen this or you haven't watched that? Like, how do you like anime? How do you like manga if you haven't done X, Y, and Z? And it's like, well, I can still enjoy
Yeah.
all of this, and I don't have to, fall by your standards.
Yeah, and I also
right?
feel like it's kind of when depends on when you get into like anime or manga as well. Like you go for like what's popular at that time, and some people just don't get into the older stuff. They
Yeah.
just don't like the aesthetic or whatever. They're just like, oh, it's just too old.
Yeah.
And
Well, for you, I think it's always funny whenever you can sit there and talk to people and be like, "Oh, do you like Samurai Pizza Cats?" Classic of the classic, right there. Okay.
I wouldn't call it a classic.
Some people would.
But yeah, I lost my train of thought. Thanks a lot. Anyway, yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
So, do you ever feel though? We call it swinging your manga dick around, but do you ever feel like because you know that you have collected for a while, when people do try and do that and they act like you've never read or anything, and then you go, "Well, I have 900 manga," like you just suddenly throw it out?
No. I've never done that. I don't think. I mean, I have friends who are like, what are you doing? Watch, like I said, I have a friend who was like, you need to watch Cowboy Bebop. I bought the DVD, still haven't watched it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Um, and I bought the manga actually too, and I
Mm.
read those three, and I was like, okay, well maybe I'll like this, but he was like, no, it's completely different. So I was like, all right, well I got to figure it out. But I never been like, I have so much of X, Y, and Z. How dare speak to me like so? Definitely not how I am at all. Like I've and when my friends tell me something, it's more in the lines of like, you need to do this, and I'm like, shut up, bitch. Like so,
Right.
so I haven't had anyone from the outside world really like tell me I need to do something
Yeah.
like legitimately. At least not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this one guy. He wants me to read the rest of Elfen Lied or Elfen Lied,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it. So I did a first impressions on it, and he messages me
Okay.
every couple months, and he's like,
I was
"Hey,"
thinking of the other one.
he's like, "Hey, you finished that manga yet? It's not that long. You finish it yet? When are you gonna make another video about it?"
Oh my god.
And my response is, "I'll get to it when I get to it."
I thought you were talking about the other person that used to pop on your page all the time.
No, this is the new person.
The person that wants you to cover Boku no Pico, and it's like,
Oh,
no.
no. But yeah. But another question for because you started MangaTube, what, 4 or 5 months ago? Did you
Yeah, it
ever
was
have any?
around.
Did
I
you
want
ever
to say
have
around
any
May.
concerns starting a channel, like, or reservations? Like this?
Well, so I don't like me personally.
Uh
I
huh.
don't like my voice, and I don't like how I look, which I feel like everyone has that issue. Which is why I wear shades for the most part. Um, but other than that, not really. I think I was. I was intimidated as far as like how to get my foot in the door,
Mm-hmm.
or like how am I going to get people to watch me, or how are people going to find me. So that was kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
well, maybe you shouldn't do it because you don't know what you're doing yet,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, but I have to do it. So it's like, do I pick one? Do I just post it and then just hope for the best, or do I just keep doing research and
Mm-hmm.
never post anything else? So I think that was my biggest reserve. It's like as far as starting.
Yeah.
But that was pretty much it.
Cool. Yeah, I'm always curious how other people feel when getting into manga tube and how they feel, and I kind of feel like it's very similar to that what you said. You know, is
That's true. I agree with that. I totally feel like it's almost like a dating app. You're like, oh, I'm gonna put this video out.
Right.
Will anybody click on it? And you're like, oh, and then that's just kind of what it feels like. You don't exactly know if you putting yourself out there, you'll get anything back out of it or not. And
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the intimidating part.
Yeah. And like I probably should have went along the route of like not showing me, because I probably would have been a lot more comfortable, at least in my first video.
uh-huh.
And my friends are like, like you gradually see, like I only have, I don't know, like 25 videos up or something like that.
Yeah.
So you gradually see me like coming out of my shell and being silly and who I actually am.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it took me a minute. Like I was talking to my friends, talking to my boyfriend, like I don't
Hmm.
this is weird. Like I'm just
Yeah.
talking to the camera. Like, what do you mean? Like this is what people do all the time. So my respect for YouTubers in general went
Uh-huh.
up greatly, because I'm like, y'all are really doing this. And like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're sitting in front of a camera for hours at a time sometimes and going off. And I'm like, that's way better than me. So
Yeah, though most definitely, like 'cause I remember starting off, and I was behind the camera, and then I felt like my videos improved quite a bit once I got in front of the camera.
mhm.
Because I felt more comfortable, um and that's just how I feel. Even though people keep telling me they don't want to see my face, they just want to see the manga. And
That's
I'm
horrible.
and I'm like, well, don't watch my fucking video.
Well, yeah,
Right.
and I do feel like my one of my close friends really says, she was like, people just want to see how much money you spent. So
Basically, yeah,
my video of like me showing my whole collection has like, I don't know, like 3,000 views or something. And it's
yeah,
like, first off, I don't even know where that came from. It's crazy, but cool. Um, but it's literally people just want to see how much money you spent. Like
hmm
my hauls and my collection video are the videos that do the best on my channel.
yeah.
So it's like,
Usually that's how it
yeah.
is. A lot of times, yeah,
Yeah. What'd you pick up?
yeah. What you got? Well, what was it? Jen was telling me people like to see him take things out of boxes as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a hidden kink. I feel like from the world with most people. They're
Yeah.
like they're like, take it out of
Let
the
me see.
box
Right. Let
slowly,
me see you open
please.
that box.
Slower,
Yeah. Slowly.
pop
Open the
some of that
box,
bubble
please.
wrap.
Right.
No. Jesus Christ. No. So so as a side note, so Mike as a joke made us an OnlyFans page. And now,
Hilarious.
now I feel like that should be our first video, is opening a box, taking some manga out, and then like getting like a
Yes.
sexy face and popping bubble.
Yes. Please. Please. I'll be there. I will watch it. Because that is hilarious.
And you can subscribe to our OnlyFans for $2 a month. Goodness gracious. But oh goodness. So just shooting from the hip, so what's your favorite Pokemon?
My favorite is definitely going to have to be Umbreon.
Okay.
Oh.
I am a huge Umbreon stan. I don't know why. Probably because I really like the shiny version. It's black and blue, so that's like super cool. But that is definitely my Pokemon. Then on the legendary side, it's gonna have to be Lugia.
Oh, mine's Snorlax.
You play do you play Pokemon Go or anything?
I play Go. I if you just saw my Instagram story, I just broke my Joy-Con from playing
I
Pokemon
did see
Unite.
that. How did that
Oh no.
happen?
Man, I don't, I'm not an angry person at all.
Uh-huh.
It's super far from me, but it's something about that game that it like tilts me. Like I can play literally anything. I play a bunch of Apex Legends. I
Uh-huh.
get in team fights, I get jumped, I die, and it's like, okay, cool, like let me just start. That game, it took it tilted me. So I was literally like, I don't know what came over me. I was holding my Switch, and I normally don't hold my Switch. I normally play it on my TV, which I probably should have
Mm-hmm.
did. And I just got so mad, so I like punched it,
You were
and I was upset. So I punched it. My Switch
uh-huh.
went flying into my laptop, almost broke my
Oh
laptop. So I
no.
was like,
Oh
oh
no.
God. And then look down, I still have the Joy-Con in my hand, and the Switch is gone. So I was like, okay, so I just need to stop playing, like period.
You were
Yeah.
playing that
Oh no.
Pokemon, what was it? The it's like the Battle Royale Pokemon game, was it?
Yeah, it's Pokemon Unite. It's
Yeah.
a MOBA,
Yeah.
which I mean, I probably should have took hints because I see League of Legend players get so upset, and that game is created by the same people.
Oh, really?
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh
Oh.
well, but I see why they get so mad because I'm literally over here ready to fight. So
Yeah.
it's like,
I saw
stop.
that this morning and I was like, "Oh no, he's going to have to buy a new Joy-Con."
Yeah, so I'm
Be
like,
like
Oh.
be like
Oh.
I can play
yeah.
anything, but when it involves Pokemon,
It
don't get
looked
in my
like it
way.
it looked like it kind of broke part of the Switch as well. Like it
No,
looked like
it was luckily it's just the Joy-Con. Like,
okay.
yeah, like it's just I got really lucky, but I'm like I got to put this game down for a while
Oh
because
man.
it really makes me
Yeah.
upset.
Oh no.
Sometimes you just gotta rage, but don't take it out on your controllers, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I've
I
had it
and
before where I snapped a controller in half at one point.
yeah, see, this is my first time ever being like this, and I had a friend, which is so funny because we haven't heard from him since, but
Mhm.
we played Overwatch, and he got
Yeah.
so mad. He like
Oh no.
we just heard him toss his controller and mic and everything, and we still haven't heard from him. So it's
Yeah.
a running joke, like he's still over there fighting his controller right now. So
We
and it's been like years, but it's so funny.
we have a friend who we play video games with, and he broke his controller. He slammed it on the ground, and his joystick popped out. He couldn't get it back in. So while he was on stream, we bought him a controller, and then we brought it over to his house. Be like, don't get mad anymore.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I don't. This is the only game that frustrates me to that
Yeah,
point. So
yeah. Let's. Oh shit! I dropped my phone. Jen, continue with your questions. I gotta get my questions.
Okay. So this is one that's on mine and Mike's list. So your name being Gemini Manga, are you actually a Gemini?
I am actually a Gemini.
Okay.
I
That
am
was one of the
actually.
things. Mike's we send each other like our questions or whatever, and Mike got
Mm.
his done way before I ever did. And my first question, and I'm looking at the text that he sent me so I can read over his questions just so we can know like how to cover them. And his first question is Gemini Manga actually Gemini? Question mark. And I was like, Mike, you and I are thinking exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I normally don't. Well, it's not even that I normally don't. Normally, with like if people ask, and I'm not super big in the astrology or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but people ask like, "Oh, what's your zodiac sign?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's the one that everybody hates." And literally 9 times out of 10, people are like, "Oh, you're a Gemini," and I'm like, "Yeah, great,
Oh
thanks."
no.
so, so I was like, I'm just gonna take this name and roll with it. So,
Yeah.
Cool. So
Which
I
which is
oh,
funny.
go ahead.
And your what is it? It's not a scroll, it's like your fabric picture in the back,
Hmm.
you would think that you were into astrology a little bit. So that's kind of the
Yeah, I am. I'm not into it at all. I was like, like I'm just gonna take this name and go with it. So whatever. Like I don't know. When I made, well, I didn't make it, but like I've had my profile picture and my banner made by people on Fiverr, which
Hmm.
shout out to Fiverr because I don't know what I would do without them. Like those people
Yeah.
are great on that site, and they were like, I was like, hey, like this is what I'm looking for. Can you do anything like this? And they made it for $5. I was like,
Oh, that
thanks.
was really
So
good.
awesome.
yeah,
Well,
I've actually been thinking about using Fiverr because I want a kick-ass intro song for the podcast.
yeah,
right.
they made my intro too to my
Oh,
videos.
really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, you have to send me their link. I might have to use them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
But I had a question for you because I was kind of stalking you a little bit
All right.
to
Wait, I have a question based off of his picture, real quick.
oh,
His
fine.
profile picture. So, I did see in one where you actually had your hair dyed like with the white or whatever. Have
Hmm.
you actually dyed your hair where it looks like your profile picture?
Yes, I have, and I'm
Okay.
actually growing my hair back out so I can re-dye it back
Okay.
white. That was literally my favorite. I've dyed my hair a bunch of colors. It
Hmm.
was pink not too long ago.
Uh,
Um, but that was literally my favorite thing to do with my hair. So I'm actually growing my hair back out so I can
Hmm.
match my profile picture a little bit better now. Um, but yeah, I did used to have it white, silverish, and it was great. I loved it.
That's
awesome.
awesome. So I'm always I always get a little giddy when I find other manga tubers who also collect comic books.
Hmm.
And I
I knew
noticed you
I
had
knew this question was
I,
coming.
I noticed you had Invincible in your collection.
Literally the best thing I've ever read in my entire life.
I love Invincible so much.
it's so it's so good, and I tried
So
to get so many other people to like, hey, have you
so
read
you
this?
can
Because
help me with this then, so we can beat up Mike because if you ever listen to our stuff, like I do minis based off of like TV shows where I review them, and it's just me
hmm
reviewing them. And Mike was doing Invincible, and Mike stopped. He's like, I don't have time for it right now, but I enjoy reading. I'm like, you need to get back into it and start throwing them back out. So you and I can gang up on Mike right now and be like, hey, you put these
yeah,
back out, Mister.
100% because Invincible is amazing. Like it's so good. Like I'm really truly at a loss of words. It's so
Yeah.
good. And
I
even the show is not 100% faithful,
I love
but
the
it's still
show.
amazing.
I love
Still
the show.
amazing.
The show is good. Oh, so good. But I'm at the part because I'm reading it for the first time
Okay.
where he just meets his little brother.
Hmm.
Uh, what's his little brother's name? Oliver? Is it Oliver?
Oliver.
Oliver, yeah, Oliver. He meets his little brother Oliver. So that's where I'm at in the story.
Okay.
I still have to get the rest of the Ultimate. I need to have like 3 more Ultimate collections to get. But my question for you is, uh, who was your favorite like side character in the book and why?
In Invincible
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of
side
them.
character.
Like there's a lot of them.
It is a bunch, and I'm either gonna have to go with Oliver
Uh huh.
or I mean, can we consider Adam Eve
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
the
we can consider.
sidekick?
Yeah,
Then
sort of. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with there's so many. There's so many you grow attached to. So actually, oh my god. Um can I give you three?
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so Adam Eve. No,
Uh-huh.
can I give you four?
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
if you
Wait,
want
wait,
a
wait,
top, you
wait,
want
wait,
a
Wait,
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 top
wait.
10,
Yeah.
10
Let me give you five. Let me give you five. Let me give you five. Let me give you five.
it might be 6 now. Hold on.
I'm gonna go with Adam, Eve,
Uh-huh.
Oliver, and this is not in order at all.
Okay. Okay.
Adam, Eve, Oliver, Thag,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's a Viltrumite woman who I can't remember her
Is
name.
that the one who does the horrible thing to Mark?
Yes,
Okay.
her.
I don't like her.
And Robot.
Oh, robots. Yeah. Robots cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those would be my top.
Have you read any of like the extra stuff, like the Guardians of the Globe or
No, and I've saw because in the Ultimate editions they like bring those up like, oh yeah, these are like all the way in the back of the book, but
yeah.
and I saw it, but I haven't picked up anything else. But I do.
Okay.
I am looking at it. So
yeah, I'm looking at them too, and I'm like, I kind of want them, but I don't know if they're as good as Invincible. We'll have to see.
yeah. And I got his other works, in the hardcovers, but I need to collect more of them, and that's Outcast and Oblivion Song.
Oh yeah,
And I haven't read those yet, but I heard they're really, really good as well.
Have you read Fireproof? Is it Fireproof? Firepower. I think it's called Firepower.
No, I haven't.
It's one about. It's kind of like his take on like Iron Fist.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
A little bit.
I have to look into it then.
Yeah.
Let me put this in my notes right now.
I think it's called Firepower. It just started coming out like last year.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
It's cool.
Yeah. But I truly love Invincible 100%. That's
so good. So good.
Yeah.
How do you decide on what to get between manga or comics?
Well, so Invincible, what happened? Oh, the show was coming out, and it was, I think they said like, oh, it's by the same person who made The Walking Dead. And I only watched the first 2 seasons of Walking Dead, and I was over it. I was like, okay, well, maybe this would be different. So I typically only buy the first 5 volumes when it comes to manga, at least, to see if I like it or not. And Invincible was on a whim, and once I read that, I was like, okay, great, I love this. Let's get more. And then I saw that he had other works, so I was like, okay, great, let me just go ahead and start grabbing these as well, because I believe the hardcovers for the ones that I was just talking about, are just not like really releasing, because there had been such a pushback on so much stuff.
Yeah.
So I typically kind of just go off of like, do I like this first volume, or like, I of course use YouTube and see what people say, because I have no problem like hearing a review of the first volume and seeing what people say, and then reading it for myself to see if I like it.
Have you ever read Black Hammer?
No, I haven't.
If you like Invincible, I recommend Black Hammer, but Black Hammer's not as violent as Invincible gets, but it's really like, it's about like, what if superheroes had to stop being superheroes? That's the best way I can describe it, and it's like a big, expansive universe now, and I really recommend it if you like superhero / non-superhero
I'm putting
stuff.
that down in my notes as well.
Yeah, Black Hammer's really good, and they have the giant library editions.
We'll get done with this episode, and it'll be like, all right, I have a whole list of notes.
But yeah, I would check out You said Fireproof and Black
I think it's called Fireproof or Firepower.
Okay.
I can't remember what it's called. And there's Black Hammer, but the artwork's a little iffy on Black Hammer because the artist had a stroke. So, but we don't put that past him because he had a stroke, so it's okay.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a little wonky at times.
You just made me think of something really stupid. Whenever
Well, that's
we
what I
did,
tell people because
whenever we did the Kentaro Mira, yeah, we won't put it past him. You should read Berserk. Oh, should I?
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. I actually I'm trying to. I don't want to say just me because there's three
yeah,
of us, but me, your bald-headed senpai, and
hmm
Book Vibes
hmm
are trying to come up with something where maybe we can talk about Berserk every couple of weeks if people want to read
oh,
along with us.
cool,
This is my first time, me and your bald-headed senpai's first time
yeah,
reading Berserk. So I just started and I read the first chapter and I'm
yeah.
like, okay, the hype is well warranted
The
because
hype
this
is
is pretty
real.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
yeah,
pretty good. So I'm like, okay, like I'm actually supposed to finish the next two this week, which I'm probably going to finish it tonight to be honest,
yeah.
because
I was
it's
I
so
was
good.
kind of feeling similar to you because I started reading Blade of the Immortal,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh my god, why did I sleep on this for so long?
Okay, is it that I have them all too, and I haven't opened it at all, but
Oh,
I'm like,
I just have the first two deluxe editions,
hmm.
and I cracked open the first one, and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking good.
Yeah, and see, like I see so much stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, let me grab this because you never know when it's gonna go out of print, or you'll never find it again.
Yeah,
So I ended up buying them all. I actually bought them all last year during the Right Stuff sale. Oh no,
yeah,
no, no, no. Yeah. During the Right Stuff sale, and I still haven't opened them up, but I'm like, at least I have it to know. So now I
yeah,
hear someone talking saying that it's good. I'm gonna have to crack that open too at some point.
yeah,
Yeah. The only problem that I have sometimes whenever you do that, when you sit on it or whatever, and you open it up, and you hear such good stuff, and you read it, and you're like, I don't like this. This is really shitty, and you're like, why did I buy this again?
Yeah, I hope, and that's what I'm hoping doesn't happen for Chainsaw Man because I'm constantly collecting it,
uh huh,
but I refuse to open it until the hype of it dies down. Like I
yeah.
I don't want to deal
Same.
with any
The
because
hype can definitely kill a manga
yes,
Same.
sometimes.
I keep pushing Vinland Saga on the back burner because I can't start it yet because everybody keeps talking about it,
it is great.
and I'm like, stop. And I'm like gnawing at the bit, but I'm like, stop talking about it because you're making me
Yeah.
not want to read it right now.
Yes, yeah. So literally, I say it all the time. I'm like, these Chainsaw Man stands are so annoying because I can't read it. I can't enjoy it because you guys won't shut up. Like
Right.
every time I look, someone's got a Nindroid or a new
Yeah,
volume, or like they're like, It's just so much." I'm like, please, just let it die. Like, where was this hype when the man created Fire Punch? Because I read that and I really enjoyed it, but people are like, "Oh,
I got halfway
it's
through
better."
that series. I think I got to volume 4 or 5,
Mhm.
and I was like, I don't want to read this anymore.
It does go off the rail, so I can 100% understand that.
I was like,
I can
I'm
respect
gonna
it.
just put you down and just. But
You
I
don't
am
gotta.
interested in Chainsaw Man, though.
Yeah, that's all people talk about is Chainsaw Man. I'm like,
Yeah, I should have
God,
picked it up when it wasn't hard to find.
yeah, yeah, because people are like that. That's I want to say one of the number one top priority thing
Oh
that
yeah,
people are grabbing right now, and
yeah.
that, and then the box set. If I turn around and see another box set of Demon Slayer, I'm gonna blow my brains out. Like I don't want to see another box set of Demon Slayer,
I
like
mean,
at
I,
all.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel the same way. I mean, if I just seen any more Demon Slayer,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
might just blow my brains out. I don't know
yeah.
because
I
that
I
shit's
just
everywhere.
Yeah, it's literally everywhere. And I read the whole thing, and the ending of it, it's such a, I don't want to say mediocre, but it's such a uh just a regular shonen
Yeah,
anime. Like that's it. So I don't know why it has so much hype around it,
yeah,
but that's literally, and pretty much the hype is the animation. Like the animation is
hmm
carrying that 100% all the way through,
Yeah.
and I can't blame him for that because it is great. Um, but the story is just it's just regular. Like it's nothing, changing or crazy or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I read Naruto when it first came out. I don't. This is kind of the same.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't touched. I never opened a single Naruto manga. I don't even have it. That's another thing that was.
You're better off not reading it. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Mike,
I have friends who are stands, and they tell
Mike, we're
me.
disbanding the podcast now.
You knew my stance on Naruto before we started this podcast, okay?
You know about Naruto. You're the one that called me and was like, "Are you buying the characters in Fortnite?"
They are in Fortnite, which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
He called me and told me that, and he goes, "Are you gonna get them?" And then like 3 of my brothers called me and asked me that too, and I was like, "No, I'm not gonna buy them." And they're like, "Well, why not? You like Naruto. Kakashi's one of your favorite like homeboys." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's true and all, but I said my anime and manga stuff does not go with my gaming stuff. If I buy an anime type game, then sure, like Naruto
Right.
Storm or something like that. But we are not playing Fortnite and buying anime characters."
Okay. And have Naruto running around with an AR-15 going nuts. So
Yeah, like in my head, I'm just like, no. Which one of my other brothers called me. He goes, "I just downloaded Fortnite." He goes, "I'm gonna play it." He goes, "I saw that they just have Naruto characters. I'm so excited. I want to play this." And I think I discouraged him, and he's gonna delete Fortnite. I said,
it's
"You
such
you
ugh,
you
it's just
you
a ugh
know
game.
that you have to buy those, right?" He goes, "They're not free." I was
No,
like,
no.
"No," and so I'm giving him like the breakdown of how much it might cost him, and he's like, "Well, I don't have money for that."
Yeah,
Oh no!
they're
So he's calling me right now.
oh my goodness. Yeah, it's like $40 if you want everyone or just one pack or something. It's something crazy, and I don't know. I feel like it's a huge step. So don't get me wrong. Like, I
Yeah.
think it's great that anime was able to get into a video game. So people are like, oh yeah, like this is cool. It probably brings more people. I don't want to bring more people into Naruto. That's definitely not my first choice. But I think it's a huge step just for anime and manga in general to be able to get in something so big like that, because maybe
Yeah.
you'll see it start to be integrated into other things as well, which I think would be really, really cool.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
not a huge fan of it.
I feel like Naruto is like the opposite of that. Like you and I talking about not being able to read something because of hype.
Hmm.
Or whatever. I feel like that's kind of the thing. Like if I introduce somebody to Naruto, I want them to not even know it existed before, and like, oh well, this is a new manga. It just aired today,
Right.
and have somebody start reading it, and that way they don't think that anybody else knows about it, and just have fun with it, like
Right.
from the beginning. Because that's another thing that kills it is everybody's such a Naruto stickler, and they're like, yeah, if you haven't watched this, it's like,
Yeah, yeah. I can't get behind it. I don't know what it is. And I watched all of Naruto. I never watched Shippuden, but after like
I'll tell you
just the
what it
first
is.
arc,
I'll
I
tell
was
you
like,
what it is. Ninjas don't wear orange jumpsuits.
sure
Just
they
saying.
do, sure they do.
I you got it
And
right.
in the best words that anybody can tell you, believe it.
'Cause, I heard that way too much in that first season or whatever it is.
Yeah,
And I was like, I'm just over it all. I can probably tell you a bunch about the show because of my friends, but I I just can't get behind it.
yeah. Well, the brother that I was joking that called me or whatever about Fortnite and all that,
Hmm.
he he is like behind it, like almost like Naruto can do no wrong or whatever. And
Oh
I'll stand
God.
behind like what you said. Like only the first season is the best season. There might be some fights that are in Shippuden that are good, but
Hmm.
there's not anything that I would write home about the second half. I would just
Yeah.
say just watch the first half because it's got way more. It's got better story. It's got everything else.
Mhm.
So like I watched all the way up to the last part of Naruto, and when it went into Shippuden, I was like, I can't do this. Like, so I
The,
stopped watching it too.
the only thing I remember about Naruto is there's a scene in it where Naruto really has to pee, and he pees off of a building, and it goes on to one of the other characters, and the other character thinks it's raining.
Oh wow. And I believe it. So
See, look, it's catching. Look, you said it too.
right.
I believe it. Believe it.
But getting on with the questions, who are some of your favorite mangaka creators at the moment?
At the moment, I'm gonna have to go with um oh god, let me grab these and I'm probably gonna butcher their names to all hell. Um we have Yoshishira Togashi. That's the guy who made Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Um
Yoshishira Tagashi.
Tagashi, there we go.
Yeah.
Um the mangaka for Berserk, who I can never say his name either.
Kitaru Mira.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let's go with, because right now I'm reading Smoking Parade and I'm actually really enjoying that. And
Really? I love
yeah.
Smoking Parade.
Yeah, I just started it. So it's a chick, right, who did that? I want to say
Yeah, because it's the same person that did
Dead Man Wonderland.
she did Dead Man Wonderland and she also did Livingstone.
Yep. And then the woman who did Full Metal Alchemist, she's probably at the top of my list because I love Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Oh, have you read Arslan at all?
Yeah, I'm up to volume 15. That's it's
I
that's
think
real
that's where I'm
good.
at. I think that's where I'm
Yeah.
at because I haven't been able to buy any more manga yet.
Yep.
I always found that was crazy. It was like a remake of an old story.
Yeah,
So,
and I didn't find that out until recently too.
Yeah.
and hers is really weird. So she has that, and then she also has, I think it's a Tale of Heroes,
Oh, I
Okay.
did not like that one.
I
and
haven't read it yet.
it's like 5 volumes. And she did that one, and it's actually based off of another tale. And so
Yeah.
I think with her, that's kind of what people keep wanting her to do is ones based off of other things.
Yeah, and she's coming out with a new series. And just looking at the artwork, it kind of looks like it's off of something like a tale of something, but I'm not 100% sure. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but it looks pretty. I personally feel like she can do no wrong. Like she draws her ass off, she writes her ass off. So it's like
Yeah.
whatever you want to do here, take my money, be my firstborn. Here you go. Like whatever you need to
Yeah.
keep putting out volumes.
It's
I'm here
like the
for.
TikTok videos. You pull out your credit card and you're like,
Right.
take
Yep.
it, take it.
I really wanted to get into the Full Metal Alchemist manga,
Mhm.
but I started reading it because I bought like one of the Full Metal editions, and I was like, I remember the anime too well. I'm not entertained by this whatsoever.
Yeah, I can understand.
I
Like
was like, I
I
feel so
completely.
bad. I feel like I should
I
be enjoying this.
I've seen the anime 12 million times. Like I used to go
Yeah.
to sleep to it. I watched it so much. Like it's still my top favorite of
So,
all time.
so there's a divide in the Full Metal Alchemist fandom, right? Which
For
for the animes, which one are you?
I prefer Brotherhood. It follows the manga more so,
Uh-huh.
but the way that um just the original,
Yeah.
like before Brotherhood, I really like the story of them trying to bring their mother back to life and
Mhm.
bring people back to life, and they actually come back to be um the seven deadly sins, like lust
Mhm.
and greed and stuff. I really like that aspect. I wish it was kind of still in the original, but I mean, in the manga version, but it's fine with me.
Would they had to get that approved by the mangaka, so it was
Oh,
approved.
really?
Yeah, the ending, and the rest of that series would had to be approved by the mangaka.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so she had to like give her blessing for them to do it.
I didn't know that, so that's good
Yeah.
that she gave that because
You
I
gave
really did like that.
you gave the correct
Uh,
answer.
okay, good.
We like both of them.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I find it so weird that we're like, oh, I'm just gonna like dismiss this whole series that came beforehand.
Yeah, like, and it's like you can't dismiss it. Like, there's something good about it
Yes,
of
like that,
anything. So,
like that part when the little girl gets turned into the dog.
yeah,
You take that back, mister.
Oh my god, it breaks my heart every fucking time I watch it.
it's such a good scene. It's
And then,
such a
like
good scene.
in the Brotherhood, it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, we skipped over this.
Mhm.
Or when Mace Hughes dies, spoilers.
Yeah.
Anybody who hasn't seen it, oh my god, oh,
Yeah,
oh,
that kills a lot of people. I got my grandmother to watch. She's on like 60. No, she's on like 50, episode 50 something.
yeah.
We stopped in a lot of time, but even she watched it and she was like, "I can't believe he did that," or "Oh my god, he's actually dead." And I'm like, "Yeah," like
Mike, write that down. We got to get Gemini's grandma on.
Yeah, we'll get you and his grandma on. Talk all about Full Metal Alchemist.
right.
Yeah, I don't know. That always baffles my brain. And I'm like, how can you just dismiss this? I don't know.
Whole series.
Well,
yeah.
Anime fans are weird.
You know the worst part about it is most of the time you can sit there and bring it up and be like, why would you dismiss the thing that actually got you into Full Metal Alchemist to begin with? I mean, come
Right.
on. Because a bunch of people probably watched that one first and were like, I'm going to try out the manga, and then found out that they didn't go together per se,
Yeah.
and then watch Brotherhood. And you're like, why are you arguing with it when you were the one that liked it for the
like
first time?
I'm trying to get your buddy Senpai and Mark to at least watch Brotherhood because I'm like, you're going to love this. Your buddy Senpai watched the first one that came out, just Full Metal Alchemist, and she was like, I didn't really enjoy it. And I'm like, I hear you, but now I need you to watch this. Like,
I mean,
your feelings are valid.
I mean,
but
you can watch both of them and have two different experiences because they're like two greatly different stories.
Different shows. Yes.
Yeah,
that's true. Very true. Because I feel like the other one's almost like some shoujo ones, like My Love Story or A Silent Voice. I feel like that's kind of where the first one goes, because like even the bad characters, you feel something for them.
And I love that feeling.
And when Brotherhood came out, it almost seemed like it kind of trailed the same line as like shonen. So it was like watching Dragon Ball Z,
I'm just throwing this out there. I went to school with the Panda Bear. Just saying. From Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I went to the school with the Panda Bear. Yep, that was me. Yep.
Wait, I'm confused.
I know the voice actors who played the Panda Bear in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I might not know what we're talking about.
I went to high school with the person who did the English voice for the Panda Bear.
Is it the same person that voiced the other?
Yes, it's the same person.
Okay. I was like, Mike, I thought you only had one person that you went to school with that was an animal before. Now you have two?
She also played Happy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Anyways, Jan, do you have another question?
Yes.
Yes? No? Maybe so?
Yes.
All right. What's your question?
I don't know. You put me on the spot, and then it just kind of poof. Do you have any other hobbies besides manga?
I do a lot of, well, I'm still going to consider it a hobby, even though I haven't done it recently.
Yeah.
That is, I do a lot of painting.
Oh.
So that's really cool. And then video games, of course.
Yeah.
So those are like my other tunes if I need like a different outlet. Um,
Uh-huh.
but I really, really enjoy painting. It's really
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Oh, we might have to get you to make us one for the podcast. We've been talking about having some other art that we can put in the background of like making our thumbnails or whatever to put on
Hmm.
our stuff. And so we've been trying to do a mix of like getting an artist to do like a piece of art for us, but then leave the background open so that we can put something else behind it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of a headache, but I feel like it'll start working out at some point. We just have to really start staying on us trying to do that instead of podcasting all the time. So
What are some different types of videos you enjoy making on YouTube? Like,
I
do you have?
really enjoyed my hot takes video.
Uh-huh.
I really had a bunch of fun doing it.
Uh-huh.
And I know some people were probably like, I can't believe he's saying this because I really was like,
That
you
one
know,
was funny.
some of y'all only watch JoJo's or read JoJo's because y'all aren't real men. So I know some people probably took that to heart, but I'm like, well, like, it is what it is. So I really enjoyed doing that. And I really enjoy, and I know a lot of people don't like doing this, but I
Uh-huh.
enjoy my reading logs, like talking about what I read. I know
Okay.
some people find that like really boring and stuff, but I'm like, I really enjoy talking about like how else are you supposed to know if you want to read something if I
I
can't tell
mean,
you if it's worth your time?
yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people that find them kind of boring, but I don't know. Like, I can see why people do them,
Hmm.
and I can see why people get some enjoyment out of it, but I don't know. Usually they're not for me. I usually just like the shop with me videos.
oh
I'm like,
man,
why do I
Yeah,
need to?
a lot of
Well,
people. I did my first one. It was a little while ago, and I was like, I don't know, like it's so hard, and I do everything off of my phone, which
yeah,
you
yeah,
need to get a camera, but I'm like, it's just hard to navigate. Like, okay, do I show this or do I show this? Like,
yeah.
are people looking at me because I don't want to seem like a weirdo, but
yeah. Well,
I have to
so
put this out here.
I want to point this out on those because that was one of the videos that I watched getting prepared to do this interview with you and everything. And I really like that it's not just like a shop with me video. It's more of like a spend the day with me type video because
Uh,
I liked it because we actually kind of went through the motion. Like I felt like we went to lunch together. I felt like we went to shop for manga together. Like we just made a day of going and doing nerdy stuff and hanging out as friends. And I really enjoy it because some people just go in and it's like, oh, this is what I got. Let me do this interview of myself in the
mhm.
car and stuff like that. And that does get nerve wracking because I'm like, okay, I've seen like 100 of these already from the same person. It's going to be the same
Right.
thing, and that's all you see, and it's all based around the manga. And I actually like the aspect of spending the day, I guess, with you in that one because like I said, we did do the lunch thing, and we got to
Hmm.
see some other stuff that was around there, and it was really nice to see that versus how some of the other people do those.
Thank you. I just and like I said, I normally go on a whim, so I'm like, my best friend moved to Ohio, so it's like, okay, well, let's go down here and let me visit you because I haven't seen you in a while. I want to
Hmm.
make sure you're good. So we went down and you know we I just took you guys with me everywhere that we went. So when we had lunch, or y'all had lunch, like it was a together thing. It wasn't just like a I'm just going to show you the manga and just call it a day. Like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
What are we having for lunch today? Okay.
yeah. I tried my hand at one of those shopping vlogs because they were getting really big, and I was like, "Well, I guess I'll try it out,"
Mhm.
And I was like, this is so fucking hard to film.
Yeah.
Like people
Yes.
are just
Yes.
looking at me, and I'm just filming a bookshelf, and then
Mhm.
I'm in my car, and then my AC decides to not work, and people are looking at me while I'm in my car talking to myself. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, and I've had so many people like get on me about like, hey, you need to do a shot with me, or you need to do another one, and I'm like, okay.
I
At some point,
mean,
I hear you. Like, I don't want you to think that I don't hear you because I do.
I
But
don't know. It's one of those things that kind of goes over my head. I'm like, I just don't get it.
yeah,
I'm the old man who doesn't get it.
Oh,
I'll just do my hauls and my first impressions.
yes, and I like doing first impressions. The way that I do it, I have it set up
Yeah.
as a little series that I haven't done in a while, which I need
Yeah.
to do. But it's called Let's Talk About It, and I talked
Yes.
about Ryuko and Arslan, and I need to talk
Mhm.
about Smoking Parade because I just finished that first volume. So
Yeah, I
definitely
really
need to do
enjoyed your first impressions videos and stuff like that. I really enjoyed your blooper video.
that. Thank you.
I love watching bloopers.
Yes, and listen, I when I did that manga tube thing, and I was like, oh, like this should be easy. Like I just have to change my shirt back and forth. And
Yeah.
my friends were like, why didn't you just film one whole side and then do the other? And I was like, oh, that makes complete sense. So literally, I was like jumping back and forth between putting this sweater on, changing my glasses, and doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, this is the worst. I'm like, me and my great fucking ideas. Like, why would I do something like this? But a lot of people like love that blooper video, and I'm like, that's literally me every time I record because I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just here trying to
Yeah.
entertain people.
I really loved your things you learn video as well. Even though I've been doing manga too for quite some time, you know I feel like I've learned things just from watching you and stuff.
Hmm.
Because I like it that you kind of don't go off, you don't go on a script, and you kind of just speak your mind, and
Hmm.
um, I don't know. I just really
Yeah,
like. I was just really entertained by the videos. I don't watch that many manga tubers anymore.
hmm.
But you're one of them to watch.
That's true. The
Yeah.
only time I ever watch a video is if Mike sends it to me from YouTube now.
Hmm.
Just because I have so much other like media outlets that I focus on after me getting out of YouTube and everything. And and I know that you're one of the guys that Mike sends me a lot, so I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, we're having
Well,
Gemini on. I was like, the person you send me over text message all the time? He goes, yes, that one. I went, oh, okay.
yeah, it gets so overwhelming, and I have my own personal separate YouTube account that I just watch
Uh-huh.
like drama channels and
Uh-huh.
gaming and blah blah blah. But it gets really overwhelming when you're like I've met so many people or talked to so many people, which is great. But then
Mm-hmm.
it's like I kind of feel like I'm obligated to watch their videos or I'm obligated to comment on their videos, and it's like I have to take a step back and be like, okay, it's not that serious. Like you can watch it and not comment. So I watch a bunch of
Yeah.
people and I might not comment. Um, but trying to navigate YouTube and I was off of social media for 2 or 3 years before I made my stuff
Mm-hmm.
for YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So navigating that and Instagram and Twitter and TikTok is like I don't even open Twitter because it's
Mm-hmm.
such like I'm like I don't know what to say on this thing.
I mean,
Um,
Twitter's kind of a trash fire.
yeah, and
I
so it's insane to try to navigate all of that and then
Yeah.
still like maintain relationships with people and everything else. I
Yeah.
rather just talk to people, let them know that I watched their video or seen it, and then just go
Yeah.
on about my day.
Yeah. No, I totally get your way of thinking, because
So,
I don't always comment on videos when I watch people, but I'll usually give like a thumbs up or something,
Hmm.
and I'll share videos whenever I see them on my Instagram and stuff like that, and of ones like, oh, that's cool, I'll share that, and or I feel like it's better to
Hello?
like. Oh, hello. Did we
Hello?
lose? Did we lose somebody?
I don't know.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we had one. But yeah, what I was talking about earlier is like I like it that it's what I try to do is I try to help build everybody else up and share everybody else's stuff. Because I don't want to like just promote my stuff. I feel like if I just promote myself, I'm being very selfish in that nature.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I try to do my best as like promoting other people as well. I
Mm-hmm.
just hate being on social media. So it's like
Yeah.
I might go on like a splurge, like, okay, here's everybody's content, here's everybody's thing all at once,
Yeah.
instead of like trying to do it right when it happens, because it's such a hard thing for me to
Yeah.
do, to be on there.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Like I'm not really a big social media person, and I'll just scroll through it sometimes, and if I see something I like, I'll share it. But like a lot of times, I don't even get on social media and interact with stuff, which sometimes
Yeah.
it makes me feel like I'm not in a community at sometimes.
Oh my gosh. We'll watch.
No.
We'll be on there next week, and Gemini will be like, "Did you listen to this episode of the Otakuology podcast? It's so good."
100%. Like I'll post you and you're like, okay, cool. And then like I might post you like 2 or 3 times, and then
Yeah.
like I might fall off and you're like, well, where the heck did he go? And
Yeah.
it's like, I'm still here. I just yeah.
Some
Did you watch that episode about Kentaro Miura? Fire.
sometimes like low key. Sometimes I feel like there's like an unspoken like competition or like rivalry to like one up everybody.
I can 100% agree with that.
You
And
know?
I don't get it, because it's like
Yeah.
we're literally all doing the same thing. Like, let's just do this together and
It's
call it
so
a day.
weird.
So
Yeah.
can I
Yeah.
tell
Yeah.
y'all
Yeah.
that I've never felt that? Is that
Why?
weird?
Really?
Well, we know why. It's the manga dick syndrome.
Oh,
Well,
I guess we can. Yeah.
I guess elaborate.
Oh, well, like because of my collection and stuff. Like I've never had to feel like I was in competition with anybody.
Oh,
I can understand that. I don't know. I feel like there's like a unspoken competition, or a unspoken like, you need to be at this point in your YouTube career before
yeah.
you can do X, Y, and Z. So
Eh,
I really appreciate the Dark Stage, the Manga
uh-huh.
Sloth, even East Coast Manga. Like those were the three that who I watched before. And when I did start and asked them about my videos, they all gave me feedback. So it's like, okay,
Mhm.
cool. Like, I appreciate that from you guys, because I thought that you wouldn't even talk to me. But there's other people who are like, hey, I won't do X, Y, and Z for you, or
Yeah.
I can't do X, Y. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you were small at 1.2. Like,
Right.
so yeah.
Well, it's funny that you said that because East Coast was one of the people that I like pimped out, and it was like, oh, you should go follow him and watch his content. So
We had Dark Stage on a couple months ago.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we
Did an
did.
interview with us. He was a really nice guy to talk to. I like talking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
We
always
found
the
out.
Manga Sloth is the Manga Sloth.
We found out.
Right.
He's awesome.
We found out Mike's new catchphrase whenever he's talking about how good like an ecchi manga is. He'll be like, "I'm a nasty man for this." You're like, oh, okay.
Yes. When I see him start saying that, I was like, oh my god, like, whoa. So
He's like he's nasty, man.
There you go.
He's like I got my
That'll be
nasty
another.
shelf.
That'll be another episode. We'll see you like re-throw out into the universe. Did you watch the Dark Stage?
He's a nasty man.
exactly.
Which
Like,
and I think it's kind of funny. Like we will have other like people come on and they'll be telling us about them. Oh, we'll have an episode, and they'll go watch that, and then like a couple weeks later, we'll find out and all of our numbers will start going like crazy real fast, and it'll be like, "Hey, I binge watched all your videos. Yeah." And it'll be like, "Oh, well, which one did you listen to first? Oh, well, that one you recommended me about the person I brought up." And so
Yeah,
it
and I
just
think I watched or will listen to the Dark Sage one that you guys did. And I think I listened to one other one.
Yeah,
Uh,
we also have it all up on YouTube as well.
okay.
Yeah, we're a small channel on YouTube. We have like 36 subscribers on YouTube. We're small. We're a very small channel. Yeah.
we only have
It's
36.
very
Is
fun.
that
You'll
just the
get up there.
Pokemon one or the other one?
Oh, the Pokemon one is like 119.
Oh my god! It's because it's
I
Pokemon.
think.
It's because it's Pokemon.
Yeah, because it's Pokemon. Yeah.
So I went to Target the other day, and they had a big Snorlax pillow plushie thing. I was like, I'm getting this, and then I was like, I'm gonna have to hide this before Mike comes down here because he's gonna try and steal my pillow.
But yeah, I don't have any more questions. I don't want to keep you too long. Go ahead, pimp out your channel. Pimp out.
Wait, I have one more
Okay.
question.
All right.
Okay.
So just from like everything we've talked about and all the other stuff and how like starting out was a little scary, were you scared at all whenever like Mike kind of asked you to come on the podcast or anything?
Uh, Not really. Just because I feel like I'm kind of comfortable with who I am right now as far as like where YouTube is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like oh yeah, like this is really cool. Like I can do this, like, talking and
Yeah.
stuff. And I've been in other situations that's not YouTube where I had to speak or do interviews, of course, jobs
Mm-hmm.
and X, Y, and Z.
Uh,
So um I actually like this a lot more because I can pretty much say what I want to say and just talk and not feel like I have to be filtered.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I wasn't really nervous. It was kind of just like, all right, cool, like let's get this going. I mean, I was more so excited than nervous.
Okay. Well, that's good.
that's good.
That's good.
Awesome, yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
But yeah, plug your stuff real quick. Tell everybody where they can find you at.
You can find me at Gemini Manga, all one word, on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Instagram or Twitter, there's an underscore at the end. But other than that, YouTube is just Gemini Manga, like I said, all
Yeah.
one word.
And we will have all links to his social media and his YouTube in our description for this episode, as well as if you go to our YouTube channel, Otakuology, you can find him at our what we will call now friend of the podcast, Gemini Manga.
Hey.
His channel will be down there with all the other people we had on the podcast as guests.
Right?
I recommend checking his channel out. I like his channel. It's fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as always, guys, thanks for listening to another episode of the podcast. We will catch you on the next exciting episode that comes out. Stay tuned for more content. And as always, we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.